This morning, in the third installment of our Strictly Medicinal Seeds Materia Medica free internet course, we will be looking at Tulsi, otherwise known as holy basil, Ocimum tenuiflorum, also known as Ocimum sanctum, i.e. holy basil. This is in the family mint, the Lamiaceae. The plant is a tropical perennial, hardy to zones 10 to 12. It can also be grown in the temperate zone as an annual. Summer culture, very similar to tomatoes. That would be sowing the seed before the last frost, growing the plants out in pots, and then transplanting to the garden when the soil has really warmed up. Here in late June, you see this Tulsi patch has attained about knee height, and by the time we make the seed harvest in October, the plants will be bushy. They will have filled out this entire rainbow that you see here, and they will be in full seed at that time. So this is a distinct planting of a cultivar from southern India known as Amrita, or Nectar of Immortality. This is a light green leaved Tulsi with purple stems and purple flowers. In ancient folklore, the Tulsi plant was considered to be a manifestation of the Divine Mother on earth, the Devi. So when watering the Tulsi, it is very auspicious to chant Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, by which is meant, Om, may all beings on earth be happy. Om, peace, peace, peace. Any project started with Tulsi tends to work out well in the end. And yes, I did have Tulsi tea this morning before I took these photos. Known as one of the Rasayana, or the life extension herbs, this plant is used in Ayurveda for treatment of stress, anxiety, heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, and dementia. And indeed, many people will just eat one fresh leaf of the Tulsi plant on a daily basis. It's almost a homeopathic intake of the herb, and it tends to support long life and good health. Otherwise, the leaves are taken from the plant, dried, and made into a tea. A small handful of dried leaves may be introduced into a quart jar, hot water poured on top, lidded, allowed to steep for at least 10 minutes, and then poured off through a strainer and drink warm or hot. The plant contains at least two very active compounds. One is rosmarinic acid, and this is part of the reason why it has the anxiolytic activity, anti-anxiety activity. The other is eugenol, oil of clove, and eugenol has antifungal, bactericidal, and anti-herpes activity. So it really covers the gamut. It's often used in treatment of dental woes, pain of tooth infection. It also has activity against E. coli, candida, and as mentioned previously, herpes. So you can't just determine the activity of the plant through one isolated constituent. It's the entire plant. All of the multitudes of compounds that are in the plant acting together to create the activity. But any good Tulsi is going to smell like cloves. So that is indicative of the oil of eugenol content. The cultivation, as mentioned previously, similar to tomatoes, you do have to remember that the seed itself is a light-dependent germinator, and so subjecting the seed to light prior to planting it is a very good practice. You can hold the seed in your hand in the sunlight and pray Om Shanti Shanti Om. And then when you plant the seed, usually in the greenhouse early in the spring or late winter, barely cover it by soil. Tamp firmly and keep it evenly moist and warm until germination, which will occur within usually a week, sometimes as many as 3 weeks. Don't crowd the seedlings. Once they attain their second set of true leaves, pot them up to individual pots and grow on that way. The plant prefers an environment that is warm, and the soil should be rich. You need an even water supply and a full sun to part shade aspect. Seed saving is in the fall when the seed is crispy in the raceme. Strip it by hand, rub out the seeds, wind winnow, dry for an additional period of time indoors, stirring every day, and then store away in paper packets in a cool and dry place. The seed should last about 3 years in those kinds of situations. Here you see our Tulsi patch is planted in a unique area far away from other basils so that it will not cross and it'll stay true to type. There are many kinds, but this tropical Tulsi is certainly the strongest, and all of the tropical Tulsis, whether you call them Shyam Tulsi or Rama Tulsi or Krishna Tulsi or Amrita Tulsi, will have a strong representation of the medicine. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.